Welcome to the Leader's Edge, where we celebrate leadership and we shine a light on the visionary leaders that are shaping our future. Hi, I'm HR Huntsman, the founder of Leader's Edge, creator of the Leader's Edge Performance Engine and Leader's Edge University. I am thrilled to bring you stories from leaders who are making a difference around the world. In each episode, we champion the innovative strategies, courageous decisions, and inspiring journeys of those who lead with purpose and passion. So, whether you're looking to refine your leadership skills or you simply want to be inspired, my friend, today you are in the right place. In this episode, we have Adam Povlitz, the CEO and president of Anago Cleaning Systems. Adam is deeply passionate about fostering entrepreneurship and the pride and freedom that come with it. His passion for small business leadership came from his late father, who had a dramatic impact on Adam's life. His servant leader mindset allows him to focus on the success of others, which has sparked tremendous growth at Anago under his leadership. So get ready to sharpen your leadership skills, and thank you for joining my conversation with Adam Povlitz. Adam, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate your time on the Leader's Edge.
Oh, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to jump right into this. You talk about the legacy that your dad left for you. I'd love for you to begin by talking about his impact on your life.
Oh man, I don't know if you have enough time. Yeah, no, my dad founded the business I'm in back in 1989, and transparently, we probably didn't get along that well until I was in maybe my 20s. Uh,
Okay.
he was busy working the business and growing the business, and I moved into corporate finance, moved out of that world in 2009, right after the big recession there. And he said, "You got to give this thing a try." I never was going to get into the family business or any of that kind of stuff. But then we worked together, geez, from 2009 until Dad passed in 2023, about 2 years now. And so we worked together for all those years. And I still, some of they were almost cliches, but they weren't, somehow he put a spin on them to make them his own. He would say something, he would say, "Many counselors bring success. It's biblical." And I'm like, "You're definitely misquoting Solomon." Or waste, he would go, "Waste not, want not." And
Yeah.
he always had these little one-liners that you can never forget, and they're drilled into your brain. He said, you got to build your own team. And so just being able to take on those ideas and remember what he taught me and then build on his legacy. He'd be pissed that he passed away before the Lions made but he'd be happy to know that my sister and I are taking his business to the next level.
That's beautiful. Let's just build on that. What's the kind of legacy? Do you have kids?
I do three kids.
What's the legacy you'd like to leave to them?
As much as I'm definitely I'm very type A, hardworking, probably too much working. The legacy I would want to leave with them has nothing to do with what I do for a living. I would want them, I'm a big in my Christian faith. I would want to make sure that they go down that route as well and believe like I do. I would want them to know that I care about them, I'm spending time with them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, whether you're running a business, teaching a school, or digging a ditch, I don't do what you love, and you probably will work a few days in your life. That's too much of a
That's
cliche.
reality. Yeah.
But do what you love, be kind to others. If they get those two things from me, then I feel like I've been a success.
Very good. You're now the CEO and president of Anago. Talk to us about your leadership style. Obviously, at the Leader's Edge, we're focused on leadership and team building. Give us your philosophy on how you're building your team there at Anago.
When I first came to Anago, I was mid 20s, didn't know much. Academically, had a lot of background, but didn't know much in terms of
Sure,
life experience.
sure.
And I got baptized by fire here, right? My first job, my dad goes, "Welcome to Anago. You've left your highfalutin finance job, and your first job here is you're going to be a telemarketer by day and a franchisee's assistant at night cleaning a daycare."
That's good training, Dad. Way to
Yeah.
go, buddy.
So, yeah.
Right?
But when I moved to a role on the national team, I was traveling in the country and meeting with our franchisees, and so I had to adopt a servant leadership role. I was traveling the country, and I knew less than them about the business because they'd been
Right.
doing it for 5, 8, 10 years, and I'd been doing it for one. And so I had to go about it in a way where I said, "How can we help you? What about your business is something that we can help you improve, make you more profitable, make it a little easier, whatever that may be? How can we at the corporate office help you grow your business?" And so as I got promoted up the proverbial ranks here, I think that was that focus, that philosophy of leadership stayed with me. And so while we've obviously expanded on what we offer and what we do and what we're capable of and grown our team, it still goes back to at the end of the day, we're in business to support our franchisees and help them grow, and that's how we get our growth.
Okay.
Uh, and so I would say servant leadership is probably my leadership philosophy.
Talk to me, Adam. Let's say you're talking to a room filled with CEOs and presidents and leaders of industry and corporation. How does that servant leadership model, which I absolutely subscribe to and champion, how does that work? You're the big dog now. You have to make hard decisions. You have to draw lines. You have to make the tough calls. How do you balance those two things, servant leadership and all the tough calls that the CEO has to make?
So I think it ties together with vision, right? And so I'm no visionary, okay? I'm no Steve Jobs or any of those brilliant visionary guys. I'm just someone here to make a living, right? And so I look at it and I say, okay, if ultimately we can't make ourselves servant leaderships by chasing down every ball that gets thrown near us, right? We have to be able to say no to some things. And so part of what it was meeting. We have what's called a franchise advisory committee. I have my executive team meeting with them regularly and saying, okay, guys, what are the big needle movers? What are the biggest things that we need to focus on that you really think that is going to drive the business forward? And it's not, hey, we need a new set of flyers or nonsense stuff. It's okay, what's going to generate 20-30% more revenue this year? Huge needle movers. And then once we were able to define what those things were, we said, okay, we know what the things are that we need to focus on. Let's now set a timetable for achieving these things. And then that allows us to be able to say no to everything else.
Okay.
And unless it's absolutely an emergency, we have to pivot. Obviously, right, like COVID, that was a period where, okay, all plans be damned. This is what we have to focus on. But otherwise, for the most part, it allows us to say, hey guys, great idea, but we're going to table that for right now because we have these 3 or 5 pillars that we're solely focused on that we think are going to bring the best ROI and best bang for your buck on everyone's
Okay.
businesses.
Talk to us about Anago itself. What sets you apart? What are your unique value props?
Yeah, I think first, I think it's maybe a little explanation of how our business model works because
That'd be
most people
great.
probably aren't aware of it.
Sure.
So I'm sure your listeners are familiar with the franchise business model,
Of course.
but most people are familiar with what I would call a two-tier franchise model. So think of I don't know, Subway, right? You have the corporate office and then the people who own the restaurants.
Okay.
Ours happens to be a three-tier franchise model. So you have the corporate office, what we call a master franchise, and then within a master franchise, and that's someone who owns like a territory. I live in South Florida. The master franchise territory in South Florida happens to be Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. And we have just under 50 of those across the US and Canada right now. Within that master franchise, they're also a franchisor and selling franchises in their territory.
Interesting.
In Dallas, Texas, say, the person that owns Dallas is a franchisor. He sells what we call a unit franchise, and he's also selling the cleaning contracts locally. So the easiest way to think about the model is actually flip it upside down. And when I say commercial cleaning franchising, the first image that probably pops into everyone listening's head is a guy with a mop and a bucket or a broom or something like that,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
That would be the folks that own and operate a unit franchise, right? They own a cleaning business
I
and they
see.
hire a crew, they learn the chemicals, the equipment, and keep the buildings clean and the customers happy. The question is, where did they get those contracts in the first place? And our business model answers that by saying, wait a minute, the cleaning business and what is done usually is done after hours, it's done at night. And the sales and marketing side of the business are usually done during the day. And quite frankly, they're two very separate businesses, right?
Sure.
Cleaning and then like a sales, marketing, accounting kind of business. It's two totally separate subsets of expertises. And it's otherwise 24/7 that you'd have to be operating. So we said, wait a minute, what if we had another business that what we call the master franchise that in that territory their only focus is selling cleaning contracts, right? They're the guys with the website, they hire the sales team,
I
so they're
see.
selling cleaning contracts. They're doing any, like daytime customer service. They're invoicing the customer and collecting the money, and then making sure that all the unit franchisees who are busy at night are being able to get paid and keep operating their business. So it's like the like breaking apart the blue collar and the white collar aspects
I
of
see.
the business model, or the daytime and the nighttime model aspects of the business.
Okay. Okay.
And the weird part, as a unit franchisee, you have zero salespeople that work for you. And as a master franchisee, you have zero people who work for you who do any cleaning whatsoever. And so it
Okay.
creates a
Interesting.
cool synergy of being able to minimize everyone's overhead because you've minimized your staff.
Okay.
So a wild, yeah, a wild one out there.
Very interesting.
And then I would say probably our key differentiator is our technology. Now, when I say cleaning and technology, most people hear like jumbo shrimp. Is it some kind of oxymoron? Is it a better mop? No, it's not. It's not a better mop. What we realized is in most industries, you can have three levels of experience, right? You go to a restaurant and you have a delightful experience, good food, waitress is phenomenal. You have a bad experience, right? Terrible food, it's cold, waiter was a jerk, or just like one of those, like, it was fine. Didn't really impact me one way or another. In cleaning, you have one of two experiences. There is no delight experience. Nobody comes to their office and is, oh my goodness, my office is so clean. I'm going to get my janitor a birthday present. Sorry,
That never
doesn't
happens.
never happens. You either get to your office and you go, I got to work, and you don't
Right.
think about it at all, and you sit
Sure.
down at your computer or whatever. Or you get to your office and you go, wait a minute, why is my trash can still full? Why is this bathroom so smelly? What's going on here? So we realized that in our business, the best time to make a friend in any business is when there's a mistake that's being made on the right. And because our business is extremely the human element is very much ingrained into our business, right? Rosie the robot's not coming to clean your office. You need a person to walk in there. Pros, right? It's not going to be exported to China. Pros, Amazon can't come to town and put it out of business. Cons, right? People make mistakes and you have to be there to resolve it quickly so you don't upset your customers. So we invested in a proprietary software that we call CleanCom communication. And the idea behind CleanCom is, God forbid, one of those mistakes get made. That's when we use it as an opportunity to make you a lifelong customer. Mistake gets made. You have the CleanCom app on your phone. It's like a web-enabled app. You take a picture of the dirt or the trash can or whatever it is. It tags the location in the office that you have your issue with, and it messages it to the franchisee. It's totally private
Wow.
communication, right? You're not exchanging cell phone numbers or anything like that. It's got built-in Google Translate. So if your native language is not the native language of the person cleaning your building, that's okay. It'll translate for you. And then it has a built-in 2 hour response guarantee. So you will get a response on whatever that issue is within 2 hours.
Wow.
And so we've found is it's extreme ownership, right? If a
Yeah.
mistake is made, we want to know about it. We want to know about it fast. We're going to respond to you extremely fast, and we're going to get it resolved for you as fast as possible. And that way customers know, okay, I'm not going to have to live with this bucket of trash for a week, be concerned about something. Hey, I have to send them a message to make sure that, hey, this room needs some extra cleaning because we have some very important people coming tomorrow. I hope they understood what we wrote in our message to them. Now it's no, it's in the language that everyone speaks, and and again responded to within 2 hours. So
This is
that I
amazing.
believe is what sets us apart.
Yeah, that's impressive. I wrote down your quote. The best time to make a friend is when you make a mistake. I hope my viewers and listeners caught that. That's gold right there. And let me circle around how this touches my leadership journey. I put myself through college by working for a cleaning company. So for 7 years, for both undergrad and graduate school, I worked for Brothers Cleaning, Tony Metcalf in Eugene, Oregon. Probably the best boss I ever had before I started my own companies. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I know about walking into a place. I was a supervisor walking in and they leave a note on the desk and point to something in arrows or call in the office if they're really ticked. I appreciate that personally, just thinking about my experience way back in the dark ages. I know you're passionate about entrepreneurship. Talk to us about why that passion is there, and how maybe a franchisee, someone who's looking to be an entrepreneur, can build a career with you.
At the end of the day, I think the beauty in franchising is that the old slogan, be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. For someone who has started businesses that are non-franchise, how hard it can be.
Yes, it
Uh,
is.
and you're winging it, frankly, in some aspects. It's like raising kids, right? You can read a book, you can get advice from your parents, but at the end of the day, you're just in there and you're going like, here we go. And you're winging it and you're doing your best, the best you possibly can. But with franchising, I'm passionate about, our business is 35 years old, 36 years old this year, actually. And so we've done it 100 ways, 100,000 times. And so when we bring on a new franchisee, we could say, hey, here are some of the best practices we know right out of the gate. Here are some pitfalls that we know are going to be tempting that you can avoid. And so it allows someone to expedite their entrepreneurial journey by piggybacking off of someone who's already been there.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, it's exciting because when you get that phone call from a franchisee saying, hey, just want to let you know I was able to put my daughter through college because of what we earned on that franchise, or hey, we were able to put a down payment on that house because of what we were able to put together in our business. Or I literally just gave an award out not that long ago to a lady who owns a unit franchise in the Philadelphia area. She reached $1 million as a unit level franchise. She owned a cleaning business that did $1 million in revenue. Talk about living the American dream,
Wow.
starting from quite literally sweeping floors to having $1 million a year business. It's amazing. That's the reward for me in and of itself. Yes, yes, we all do this to make a living, but not everybody gets to get those phone calls like I every once in a while that I get.
What are you looking for in a leader when someone comes to you and says, "Hey, we want to join the team, be a franchisee"? What's an exceptional leader for you? What kind of traits are you looking for?
We have two different types of franchises, right? And so I would say there's some definite overlap and then there's
Okay.
some definite differences in what we look for depending on the type. I would say overlap, right, is drive, right? It has to be someone who's driven and is ready and hungry. There's an old African proverb that says something like, and I'm going to misquote it, but something to the effect of every morning in Africa, the lion wakes up and has to outrun the slowest gazelle or it goes hungry. And the gazelle wakes up and has to outrun the fastest lions or it gets eaten. But everybody wakes up running.
That's right.
And I think that mental motivation, that self-motivation is what we're looking for in all our franchisees, right? You're a
Okay.
business owner. It's not something that gets spoon-fed to you every day. You don't have a boss coming in telling you like, okay, this week's assignment is A, B, and C.
Sure.
You have to be the one who comes up and says, what can I do to be better today? And so I would say that's what we're looking for in all of our franchisees.
Love it. I know we're running out of time. Final question that I'd really like to hear from seasoned leaders like yourself. Some kid is coming out of college, some young lady, some young man coming out of college or trade school or just wants to start a company. Besides drive, what advice would you give that person about becoming a leader, starting their own company, building a business?
It's a good question. What comes to mind for me is I would say you have to really want it. And I don't want to sound cliche, but I would say in terms of starting a business, it's all the stuff in the movies about the guy on the yacht and like that is not business is something where if you're not rolling up your sleeves and getting dirty and you're not working 40 hours a week. I don't know the last time I worked 40 hours a week and I've been doing this for 15 years. There's no the work-life balance doesn't exist. I would call it work-life integration, right? If I need to leave early because my daughter's in a play, I'm going to leave early.
That's good.
If I got to wake up early tomorrow to make up some of the work that I missed or handle it, it sounds like I got to wake up early. It's work-life integration.
That's good.
So to me, it's you have to really want it because if you don't want it, it's going to feel like a grind every day.
Right.
And so that the stress of business ownership is there, but the rewards are there for those who want it. So want it or work for someone else who does.
I'm with you. I think one of the biggest misunderstandings I see about people who want to run businesses is they look at successful business owners like yourself or many of the leaders we work with and they go, I want what they have. I want the Cancun vacations or fly first class or whatever. And they don't realize the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. They look at the outcome and not
Yeah.
the input.
Yep. Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It takes a special mindset of grind and grit and perseverance to get up every morning and go at it. Adam, I want to thank you for your time at Leaders Edge. We champion small business owners. We absolutely love what you're doing. We believe that small business is the backbone of our economy and all the people that you're helping employ to do that. We believe in the dream of entrepreneurship and business ownership. So thank you so much for what you're doing and helping build our country. And thank you for being on our show. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Let's stay in touch, my friend.
Sounds good.
That's it for today's show. Thank you for joining us on The Leader's Edge. I hope today's conversation inspired you to lead with even greater purpose and impact. My three big takeaways from my conversation with Adam Povlitz are: number one, the best time to make a friend is when you've made a mistake. That is a nugget of gold. I love that. Number two, servant leadership helps people feel valued, which leads to greater engagement and retention. It's definitely the long game. Helping other people succeed helps the company succeed, which helps you succeed. And number three, if you're looking for a great way to begin your entrepreneurial journey, the franchise model might just be for you. Those are my three big takeaways. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. I'd love a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more leaders just like you. Please stay connected with us on social media for all behind-the-scenes content, leadership insights, and updates on future episodes. Check us out at yourleadersedge.com and follow us at Leaders Edge Podcast on all major platforms, and connect with me on LinkedIn. So until next time, keep pushing boundaries and leading at the edge. I'm HR Huntsman, and we'll see you in the next episode.